Here's an analogy I always come back to. Fear is like cold water. You can stand at the edge all day thinking about how cold it'll feel, or you can just jump in and realize you're not going to die. That first shock is uncomfortable, but give it a few seconds, and suddenly your body adjusts, you're fine. That's how fear works. It feels massive when you're standing on the edge, but the moment you take action, it shrinks. Fear runs your life more than you think. And the wild part is that it's sneaky. It doesn't always look like panic attacks or full-blown breakdowns. Sometimes fear shows up as procrastination. Sometimes it's overthinking every little decision, or avoiding things you know deep down would actually change your life. You tell yourself you're just tired, just not ready. But the truth is, fear is calling the shots. But what if I told you this? You don't need to be fearless to beat fear. You just need a mindset that moves with fear and doesn't flinch. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build that kind of mindset, how to rewire your brain so fear doesn't shut you down, but fuels your growth instead. Section 1. Fear is not the problem. A couple years ago, I was offered this massive opportunity, like dream level stuff. I'd been working toward it for months. And when it finally showed up, I turned it down. I told myself I'm not ready yet, that I needed more time, more experience, more confidence. But if I'm being honest, I wasn't waiting for readiness. I was just scared. Scared of messing it up. Scared of looking dumb. Scared of failing in front of people who might not forget it. And that's the thing about fear. It rarely announces itself. It doesn't say, "Hey, I'm fear, here to ruin your potential." It disguises itself as logic, as a caution, as maybe later. But here's what I've learned since. Fear itself isn't what holds us back. It's how we interpret it. Most people feel fear and treat it like a stop sign. They think, if I'm scared, it must not be the right time. If I feel nervous, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But high performers move fast, take risks, and actually grow. They feel fear too, but they see it differently. To them, fear is a green light. They know that fear usually shows up right before something meaningful, right before growth, right before the next level. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means stretch. It means you've reached the edge of what's comfortable, and now you're about to expand it. That shift in perspective is everything. Once you stop treating fear like a threat and start treating it like a signal, you stop running and you start building. Section 2. Identity first. Ever say no to something and regret it immediately, like someone invites you on stage or to join a project or speak up in a meeting and you freeze? You say no, play it safe, and then 2 seconds later you're like, why did I just do that? That could have been huge. That moment, that regret, it usually doesn't come from the situation. It comes from the story you've been telling yourself about you. Most people think fear is about the event, like public speaking, taking a risk, going first, but it's not. Fear gets its power from your identity. If your inner story is, I'm not good enough, or I always screw things up, then fear has a place to live. It has a home in your mind. Let's take an example. You tell yourself, I'm bad at public speaking. What happens? Your brain looks for every reason to avoid it. Your heart races, your hands sweat, and you say no before you even try. But now flip it. Instead, say, I'm learning to speak under pressure. Same situation, totally different frame. One shuts you down, the other stretches you. Your identity is the lens your brain uses to interpret fear. It doesn't matter how big or small the challenge is. If the story in your head is rooted in fear, you'll stay stuck. So here's what you need to do. Change the story. Say this with me. I'm the kind of person who does things that scare me. Not because it's comfortable, but because that's who you are now. That's who you're becoming. You don't need to wait to feel brave. You need to start acting like the version of you who already is. Here's the action step. Write an identity statement around how you face fear. Something simple and powerful like, I lean into fear because that's where I grow. I don't avoid what scares me. I move toward it. Fear is my training ground. Write it, say it, live it. Because until your identity shifts, your fear response won't. And once it does, fear starts working for you, not against you. Section 3. The inner voice that magnifies fear. Let's talk about that little voice in your head. You know the one. The moment something goes even slightly wrong, it kicks in loud. You're not good at this. They're judging you. This is going to blow up in your face. You get one piece of bad feedback and suddenly your brain goes, this proves I suck at everything. You're not alone. Most of us don't need more fear in our lives. We need to stop amplifying the fear that's already there, because your self-talk acts like a megaphone. Whatever fear you're feeling, it turns it up to 100. Let me tell you about this one time I had to give a big talk. I'd prepared for days. Slides, notes, everything. But right before I went up, that voice in my head started spiraling. You're going to forget everything. You're not ready. Everyone's going to see through you. My heart was beating at 400 beats per minute, and I seriously considered walking out. But then I caught myself. I took a deep breath and asked, what if these nerves just mean I care? That one reframe changed everything. I wasn't broken. I wasn't unprepared. I was just feeling the weight of something important. And instead of trying to make the fear disappear, I shifted how I talked to it. Here's a tool I started using that day, and I still use it now. Step 1, catch. Notice when that fear voice shows up. It might say, I'm going to mess this up. I can't handle this. Everyone's going to laugh at me. Stop right there. Call it out. Step 2, reframe. Ask yourself, is this really true, or is it just fear talking louder than usual? Try this. Even if I mess up, I'll learn something. Discomfort means growth. This is a moment, not a definition of me. Step 3, replace. Now swap in a new thought, something true and empowering. Like, I do uncomfortable things because they grow me. I've done hard things before. This is no different. Fear is part of the process, not proof I can't do it. Do this enough? And that inner voice? It starts working for you instead of against you. You'll still feel fear, but it won't feel so heavy because your mind won't be dragging you down with it. And once your inner dialogue shifts, you're not just thinking differently, you're living differently. Section 4, controlled exposure to fear equals confidence. Let's clear something up. Confidence isn't built by avoiding fear. It's built by walking straight through it, again and again. And the people who seem confident, they're not special. They've just had more reps. A while back, I decided to put this theory to the test. For 1 month, I challenged myself to do one scary thing every single day. Not life-threatening stuff, just little things that made me uncomfortable. Start conversations with strangers. Post personal stories online. Send pitches to people I admired. Ask for feedback I didn't want to hear. Every single day, one fear rep. And you know what? I didn't become fearless, but I became familiar with fear, and that changed everything. The fear didn't disappear. It just stopped controlling me because I stopped treating it like a wall and started treating it like a workout. Here's the action step. Starting today, I want you to do one small thing per day that makes you nervous. Not something reckless, just something you'd usually avoid. Speak up in a meeting, record a video and post it, even if it's not perfect. Start a conversation instead of hiding in your phone. Say no to something you don't want to do. Ask for something, even if you're afraid of hearing no. Track it. 1 rep a day. You don't need to conquer Mount Everest to build confidence. You just need to lean into little fears until they're not so scary anymore. Because when you train in fear, you don't just grow braver, you grow unstoppable. Section 5. Stop measuring outcome. Measure bravery. Here's the truth bomb. Most of us were taught to chase results. Did you win? Did you get the job? Did it go viral? Did it work? And if the answer is no, we call it a failure. But here's the problem. That mindset destroys confidence. Because when your worth is tied to the outcome, fear gets louder every time you try something new. I learned this the hard way. There was a video I spent days working on. Scripted it, shot it, edited it, poured my soul into it. I posted it, and it completely flopped. Barely any views, 0 engagement. I felt embarrassed, and for a minute my brain started spiraling. Why did I think I could do this? This proves I'm not good enough. Might as well stop now. But I caught myself and asked a different question. Did I show up? Did I stretch myself? The answer, absolutely. I did something that scared me. I put my work into the world. I grew, and that is the win. See, the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to act in the presence of fear, to take the risk, to speak up, to try even when you might fail. That's what builds real confidence. So here's your shift. Don't ask, did I crush it? Ask, did I step into discomfort? Because you don't control outcomes, but you do control your courage. Repeat this phrase. Bravery isn't loud, it's consistent. It's not about big, dramatic moments. It's about showing up again and again, even when it's awkward, scary, or uncomfortable. Action step. Each week, reflect on your actions, not your results. Ask yourself, what did I do this week that scared me? Where did I lean into discomfort instead of running from it? What small act of bravery did I take? Write it down. Own it. Because when you stack enough small acts of bravery, you don't just build courage, you build a mindset that fear can't shake. Here's the reality most people never hear. Fear doesn't go away. No matter how much you grow, no matter how much you achieve, fear will always show up. The people who move forward aren't fearless. They just stopped running. They felt the fear and took action anyway, again and again, until it lost its grip. So let's recap what we've built today. You learned that fear isn't the enemy. It's a signal that you're about to grow. You rewrote your identity to become someone who does scary things on purpose. You mastered the inner voice that turns whispers of doubt into strength. You created a habit of exposure, proving you can handle discomfort daily. And you flipped your definition of success from outcomes to bravery. That's how you build a mindset that fear can't touch. Not by waiting to feel ready, not by wishing fear would disappear, but by training your mind to walk with it and not flinch. So, if you're ready to become that version of yourself, the one who feels fear and still takes the step, smash that like button. Drop a comment saying, "I'm ready," and start your first fear rep today. One small action, one brave move. Right now, let's build that unshakable mindset together.